Good morning everyone, welcome to the first day of the NEWTS Magical Readathon. It is a Thursday, but I thought I would try to weekly vlog in August, kind of to document my readathon, the highs and the lows of me taking the N.E.W.Ts. I thought while I was having some coffee that I would talk about my reading plans for this week, I guess. So the NEWTs work in a different way from the owls. There are 3 grades that you can get for each subject: acceptable, exceeds expectations, and outstanding. And you have to complete the acceptable prompt before you can read the other 2. I thought for the first week of the readathon that I would read all of the books that would get me an acceptable grade. 1 book from every 5 subjects that I need to become a mind medic, and I will just start from the lowest grade and then each week try to get like the next higher grade. This is like the most complicated readathon and I love it, but I'm not sure I'll be able to like talk about it in a coherent way. The other non-bookish goal for today is to deep clean my apartment because I have been just writing my bachelor thesis and before that trying to pass all of these exams, and now it's time for a super deep clean. So let's talk about some books. Hopefully in 7 days, or like not this Sunday but next Sunday, I will have read all of these books. I am going to start off today with an ebook, my first ebook of the year, and I'm going to be reading Youth, a Narrative. That's only like 70 pages, so I'm gonna just bang that out while I'm having my coffee right now. The other 5 books that I'm hoping to read in like the first week and a half of the NEWTS Readathon are Improvement by Joanne Silber. This fulfills the acceptable prompt from Muggle Studies, so there's that one. I still have no idea what this is about, but this week we will find out. And then to get a acceptable in the subject of charms, I'm going to pick up All My Puny Sorrows by N.E.W.Ts. This follows, it's like a family drama. Probably my most anticipated read of the whole readathon is the acceptable prompt in Transfiguration, and that is Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amira May Safi. I keep forgetting the author's name, that's terrible. Which is like the female hate to love romance that I think I need in my life. And then finally, the acceptable prompt for Defense Against the Dark Arts is Little by Edward Carey. My fairy godmother Sam has been talking about this book for about a year. Simon from Savage Reads has also been talking about this a lot. I'm so excited. It is a bit longer than everything else, but on day 1 I'm feeling confident that I will be able to read this in like the next week and a half. And also, for those of you who don't know, I live in Germany and my non-bookish life is in German, and so I've been trying to read all of the books that I have written in German during the year, and I had 6 on my physical TBR, and so I thought starting June I would read 1 German book every month. In June I managed it, in July I did not. So what I'm going to try to do is read 2 German books this month in August that do not fulfill any of the challenges for the NEWTS Magical Readathon. So my plan is to just read 50 pages of my German book every day, and then it will take me like 2 to 3 weeks to get both of them done, and then I will feel super proud of myself. So that's like my little extra credit in the NEWTS Magical Readathon. Can you tell I'm a Ravenclaw? So my first German book that I'm going to be starting today is Tintenherz by Cornelia Funk. This is Inkheart. I read Inkheart when I was a teenager and I had no idea that it was actually originally written in German. So I'm gonna start reading this slowly but surely this week as well. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to finish this coffee and read Youth, a Narrative, and then I will report back. So it is many hours later, but my apartment has been deep cleaned, the laundry has been done, and I have been reading up a storm. So I did manage to read Youth, a Narrative this morning while drinking my coffee. It was only 64 pages, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. It's basically just a middle-aged man reminiscing about his youth and his first trip to the East on a very faulty boat. I thought it was super lyrical, and it was a very nice novella, I guess, short story, and it was a great way to kick off the NEWTS Magical Readathon. I then continued my reading streak and read the first 50 pages of Tintin Hats. I'm planning, like I said before, as a little extra credit to read 50 pages of this every day. So I started on that first 50 pages. I totally remember why young teenage Alex really adored this, because just there are so many books. So I read 50 pages of that. I then, while I was cleaning, found the audiobook for All My Puny Sorrows and listened to the first chunk of that. I looked at my physical book and I listened to about 100 pages of this. This follows the main character and her relationship with her suicidal sister. Her sister has tried to commit suicide 3 times, I believe, and this is right after the 3rd time, and it's looking back on her and her sister's shared life, and also what's happening in the present. So that happened while I was cleaning. And then just after dinner, I started the book that I've wanted to actually read and complete today, and that's Improvement by Joan Silber. I'm 30 pages into this, so not very far. So now I'm gonna make myself some herbal tea. I'm gonna read as much as I can from this book, and I will update at the end of the day, I think. So it is just gone 9 o'clock and I am halfway through Improvement by Joan Silber. I now know a little bit more of what's going on. This is, I guess, literary fiction. Anyway, it kind of, each chapter follows a different person who is interconnected in some way. So the characters get introduced in one chapter, and then the next chapter they're the main character. I am enjoying it so far. Because it is 9 o'clock, I think I might try to finish it tonight and get 2 books read on the first day of the NEWTS Readathon. It's funnily what happened in the Owls Readathon in April as well. I read 2 books the first day. So I'm hoping that I will finish this book. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a bit of a departure from what I usually read, but I am more than happy to go outside of my comfort zone reading wise every once in a while. Good morning everyone and happy Friday. It's day 2 of the NEWTS Magical Readathon. So last night, after I did not film, last night I ended up completing Improvement by Joan Silber. This is almost like a collection of short stories actually. The story kind of jumps characters, and all of these characters are somehow interconnected in strange and mysterious ways. I did actually enjoy this. I don't usually gravitate towards these types of books, but I did really enjoy my time. I feel like I'm rambling, but I did complete this, and I ended up reading around 450 pages yesterday. So I've completed the acceptable grade in Muggle Studies and Potions. So the plan for today is I'm going to go to Nuremberg, which is a town near where I live, because they have a 5-story bookstore, and I want to chill in their cafe. I want to browse some books, and reading wise, today is the day, people. I'm going to read Tell Me How You Really Feel. I'm so excited about this that I'm kind of actually nervous. So we'll see how this goes, but the plan is to read this today. So, update on my life. I'm back home, obviously. I'm in a comfy hoodie, one of my travel hoodies. I guess I've never really talked about this, but I buy a hoodie in every country that I go to. So I have so many hoodies. I guess I'm collecting them. This one is from the Czech Republic. But most importantly, this book has my entire soul. Like, I'm so obsessed with this book. Holy heck. I'm halfway through Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amira May Safi. It is 4 p.m. Like I just said, I'm obsessed with this story. I love Sana and Rachel. They have my soul. It's beautiful. But I kind of like don't want to finish this book because I love it so much and I only have 150 pages left. And I don't want this experience to end. So it's 9 o'clock. Did I take a nap? No. Did I read Tell Me How You Really Feel? Also no. Did I read N.E.W.T.s? Also no. I read another 60 pages in All My Puny Sorrows. So I was successful, but not in the way that I thought I would be. I am 50% done with this book. I think I might just stay up and read as much as I possibly can and then go to bed when I feel like I've read enough for the day. Hi guys, it is Saturday. This hoodie I got in Wales, it has a dragon on it. It is very comfy, very soft. Last night, on Friday night, I was partying up a storm. And by that I mean I was reading in my reading nook. It was an amazing time because I was reading Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi, and I love this book so much. And I just read 150 pages in like an hour and a half. I loved every moment of it. I was so emotional. I was screaming at the book. I was so happy when the things were happening that were happening. I was so invested. I freaking love this book. 5 stars. Absolutely perfect. 5 stars. After I read this book, I had to eat ice cream because I was so emotional, and then I immediately went to bed. So that was my Friday night. Made me, reconsider my life choices, but I stand by those life choices. So, you may be asking, Alex, what have you read today? I've read 5 pages, and I've read 5 pages of N.E.W.T.s. So I'm gonna try to read 100 pages and if I'm super successful with that, I might try and finish All My Puny Sorrows. It's not really picking up on the camera, but it's raining so aggressively right now. Hello everyone, it is Sunday, and it is Sunday at 5:15 in the evening. I've been not so successful at updating and vlogging. Literally nothing interesting has happened to me this week, like in August so far. I've just been sat on my couch reading, which is wonderful for me, but not very interesting in terms of vlogging material. But I do have a reading update. I am back on track with N.E.W.T.s. I'm at page 200. I'm very proud of myself because it is in German. For the actual NEWTS Readathon, I have also completed something. I have completed All My Puny Sorrows. I ended up giving this 4 stars. This is a lot about mental illness and growing up in like an extreme religious situation, and if sorrow is kind of inherited from your family. I didn't really have any expectations for this book going in, and I really liked the writing style. It was really quiet, and I liked that it was a book set in Canada, and this is fulfilling the challenge of the acceptable grade in charms. So my reading plans for the rest of this Sunday is to read Little by Edward Carey. This is the book that is fulfilling the A challenge for Defense Against the Dark Arts. This is historical fiction that follows Madame to sew and her life. I know nothing about her and about her life. I will try to update at some point, hopefully tonight. So this is an interesting angle, but I'm tired and this is what's gonna happen. It is 10:30 Sunday evening. I have read the first 60 pages of Little by Edward Carey. So far, story-wise, it's like this book is written as if the main character is like reflecting upon her life and looking back on her life and explaining what's happening. The writing style is a bit interesting. There's not like a lot of description. There's a lot of dialogue. It almost feels like a play. And I'm not sure if it's gonna stay this way stylistically through the whole book. It kind of oddly reminds me of The Doll Factory by Elizabeth McNeil, just because like there are characters that have similar obsessions and like jobs. I'm hoping that this one is less creepy than The Doll Factory, because The Doll Factory was amazing and one of my favorite books of the year, like in terms of impact, but it was just so creepy, and I hope that this book isn't that. Monday, it is about 1 p.m. I was out doing some bits and bobs this morning, but now I'm back. I'm ready to get some reading done for the NEWTS Magical Readathon. Since last night, I've read another 50 pages of Little by Edward Carey. I am enjoying this book so far. I am getting used to the writing style. It does, in places, like, really feel like it's a play. There's no description. There's no kind of cue on how people are saying what they're saying. You just like get the dialogue, and I'm excited to see where this goes. So my goal is to try and finish as much of this book as possible. It is still Monday, so I'm filming 2 clips today so far. I'm feeling pretty great about that. And I have made it officially to the halfway mark. Here's my little black sheep. I'm not sure I'm going to finish this book today. So I have read 100 pages of Little by Edward Carey, and I have 130 pages left. So I think I'm going to try to read all of it. Hello everyone, it is Tuesday morning, and I thought I would do a little bit of a wrap-up for this vlog. I ended up reading 5 books in 5 days, and for the profession of mind medic, you need 5, there are 5 subjects that you need to get grades in, and the first grade level is acceptable. So this first week I read all of the acceptable prompts for all 5 of the subjects, so I am making my way from the ground up. So first off, for the subject of charms, for the acceptable prompt was to read a book with a gorgeous cover, and I read All My Puny Sorrows by N.E.W.Ts. I gave this book 4 stars, and it is 321 pages. Then late last night I completed Little by Edward Carey. This is for the acceptable grade in the subject of Defense Against the Dark Arts. I gave this book 4 stars, and it is 433 pages. Next up is the subject Muggle Studies. For the acceptable grade, the prompt was to read a book with an actual photo element in it, and I read Improvement by Joan Silber. I gave this book 4 stars as well, and it is 227 pages. Then on to potions. The acceptable prompt for the subject of potions was to read a favorite book of a friend's, and I read Youth, a Narrative by Joseph Conrad. I gave this book 3 stars, and it is 64 pages. And last but not least is Transfiguration, and the acceptable grade prompt was to read a book with LGBTQIA+ representation, and I read Tell Me How You Really Feel, the standout book of the first week by Amira May Safi. I gave this book 5 stars, and it is 309 pages. So that means editing Alex can do the math, and I read this many pages this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and you're reading a great book, and I will see you in my next video.